Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another StarCraft 2 replay cast, as once again we have a very interesting international engagement in between the two pro players. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. As we have spawning here in the lower right, in the red, it is HARSTEM from the Netherlands. He's also known as a streamer and also very active on YouTube. And his opponent spawning here in the upper left, in the blue, it is Scarlett from Canada, also a very known figure here into the StarCraft 2 scene. Also, I believe she also did stream a lot, and I'm not quite sure if she's now living in Korea or in Canada, but I guess she's now back into Canada. So yeah, let's just see what the two players have prepared for us. Very soon we're going to be checking out their build orders just like we do in the previous replays. We can of course see the production tab here in the upper left part, as we do see Scarlett indeed go, just like many other Zergs, for a fast expansion. However, we see a very early move out here by HARSTEM. This could have been an attempt by him to go for a proxy, or perhaps it's going to be a proxy cannon rush. Let's check his main very quick. There is a gas, there is the pylon with the gateway, so no forge yet for him. So it's just a very early scout here for HARSTEM, also not anything out of the ordinary. We do have the spawning pool for Scarlett with the gas, so fast expansion into spawning pool and gas. Pretty standard stuff. I heard, but the same can be said here for HARSTEM, who saw the fast expansion build order and now also goes for his fast expansion with the cybernetics core after the gateway. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. Second gas also getting produced here by him. The probe still gathering information here from the main from Scarlett, trying to be of course as annoying as possible. So pretty standard open up here for both players. The map is Cosmic Sapphire 2 spawning location map, I believe it is, as the Overlord is now moving forward, and finally Scarlett can also have vision of what exactly is going on into the expansion point here for HARSTEM. You can see from the timer a very long replay, above 30 minutes, so quite an interesting game here in between the two pros. And let's see how things will unfold. Who is going to be the first one aggressive, who's perhaps going to try a timing push, what exactly the unit composition is going to be. Currently both players just pretty much preparing their macro game. I believe Scarlett is about to take her second expansion. Indeed, there it is. So at around the 2-minute and 40-second mark, just like any other Zergs, she has taken the expansion. She also has this nice overload parked here that gives her vision when exactly, or what exactly the upgrades are, in case the cybernetics core is upgrading here, of course, the warp gate. And yeah, we also see some stalkers, so we might see a transition into some stalkers with blinks. This could be a timing push by HARSTEM against the Zerg, against Scarlett. And Scarlett now tries of course to interconnect her expansions with creep. Very smart move by her. Still on tier 1, I believe it's just going to be Zerglings with banelings currently. Perhaps later on with some transition into some roaches, some ravagers, can also be very deadly. A second gateway here for HARSTEM, as he might try to go also for more gateway units, for more stalkers, perhaps some zealots. We even have an oracle out, and yet a second oracle, so it could be a harassment move by him very soon. I believe this oracle just to give vision here against the overlord, so that the stalker can take it out. It's a pretty nice trick here by HARSTEM, as HARSTEM is also preparing his expansion, so he's not attacking Scarlett yet. I believe he will just pretty much guard this second expansion for him, so very smart move by him. But I believe as soon as Scarlett sees this, she will of course very likely try to get her other expansion points. So macro game versus macro game, it is indeed going to be here in between the two pro players, as we still have some Zerglings getting produced. We do see the robotics facility now getting produced here with a twilight, so we might see a drop happening very soon here for HARSTEM. It could be a push with a prism with some stalkers. Let's just see exactly if this is going to be his tactics. So we might see a timing push happening very soon here for HARSTEM. Is also going for some speed lag, so it could be a mix of stalkers with zealots, but not that many units being left alive here for HARSTEM. This gives of course Scarlett the chance to inflict some damage. One stalker has been sniped. The oracles do come back from harassing the mineral line here from Scarlett, but of course the worker count looks very strong for her. 51 versus the 40 from HARSTEM. Let's just see what exactly. There it is, indeed a prism here for HARSTEM. So it's going to try to be early aggressive. I believe he's going to target the newly established bases here from Scarlett very soon. However, there's so many queens out here for Scarlett, so she should be fine. And they income the oracles once again, but queens are there to respond. They're there to nicely intercept the oracles from HARSTEM. Just some vision getting casted. We do see finally a roach warren, so Scarlett might also try to prepare a timing push at around the 10-minute mark. In the meantime, we actually see many Zerglings moving out, and quite an interesting move here. She did upgrade the transport capability here for the overload, so in comes the push. There are the overloads, so it could be a double push here for Scarlett. She might even try to snipe the pylon over here and just empower all of those buildings, and that's exactly what she's doing. At the same time, Zerglings will try to attack here, so very smart double attack with some surprise with some Zerglings, and there goes the power for the gateways as she's now targeting all of the gateways. At the same time, she's moving here forward, but the wall of is pretty much completed. However, we do have some queens here out for her, so queens out with creep that is getting spreaded and nice healing going on. At the same time, some harassment is happening here into the main from Scarlett, but the real action, of course, is happening here at the expansion point from HARSTEM. So Scarlett is not going to allow HARSTEM to expand here all over the map. She brought even her queens forward. However, the Zerglings have fallen, and with that in come the Zerg roaches. So we do see indeed the transition into some roaches as lots and lots of action is happening here. The zealots are in the front. Scarlett might have to try to pull back, as indeed the push has been held with massive amounts of zealots and those stocks in the back. Even one probe is getting brought here forward. So a good attempt here by Scarlett. She did some damage. She did snipe the pylon, but hold on, we actually see another move out by her with massive amounts of Zerglings, and HARSTEM caught a little bit of guard. He has chased here forward, so very nice push by Scarlett here, as even the prism is getting taken out. At the same time, a nice block here by HARSTEM, but in the end he has to pull back. He has to bring his units back home. But a nice wall of getting created here by HARSTEM, as the Zerglings couldn't kill more than 2 probes here. So very early strong game here by both players. Nice double push here by Scarlett, and in the end a nice trick by her, leaving some Zerglings behind and attacking the expansion point here from HARSTEM. So let's see how things will unfold. It looks like Scarlett has indeed taken her 3rd expansion, and slowly but steadily things have settled down. We do see another push happening here, another small attack by Scarlett with some Zerglings. Then actually this is not really getting punished here by HARSTEM, so HARSTEM caught a little bit of guard. Once again he's losing some probes, and just a small group of Zerglings really creating some damage here towards the economy from Scarlett, from HARSTEM, sorry. So just imagine there would have been 3 or 4 overlords with Zerglings. Much more damage could have been done here, and even banings would have been a great idea here for Scarlett. But currently she's just sitting at those Zerglings with roaches, as we might see some Ravagers being added very soon by her. So she's trying once again to attack the 2nd expansion point here from HARSTEM. There's the Templar Archive. We might see some storms happening really soon. In the meantime, it's just mass zealots onto for HARSTEM, as he's also trying once again a push here forward with a prism. The first prism has been sniped. Let's see what Scarlett is going to be doing here. In the meantime, he's once again expanding here. Scarlett really needs to stop this expansion flow from HARSTEM, or she will be behind. Finally in come her Zerglings. So you're just small group of Zerglings really punishing here the expansion points from HARSTEM. A very nice move by her. In the end, even the expansion might get sniped, but no, HARSTEM does save it. At the same time, we do see a small push here with that prism, with the teleportation here for those zealots. But yeah, Scarlett will hold also, as we do push here forward for the 10-minute mark. So quite an interesting early game in between them. We might see once again some units getting warped here forward into the main actually now from Scarlett, as she has a layer here. Let's see if HARSTEM is indeed going to be doing this. Yes, indeed, it's going to be Zerglings, zealots here for HARSTEM, as they are able to snap actually 3 drones already. So great move by him, and even 1 queen might get snapped. So nice stuff here by the Protoss player. At the same time, some zealots will be left behind. This will be cleared, but yeah, some damage has been done. as if we even have a Spire, so interesting Spire here for Scarlett, as she might try to go for some Mutalisk. It could be also late Corruptors with some Broodlords. Of course, the Broodlords in the end game a very strong unit for the Zerg to have against the ground unit. So let's just see exactly what her plans are, as currently HARSTEM plays it a little bit more defensively, staying back, defending at home. And yeah, let's have a look what the next steps are going to be. We do see a transition into some Banelings now here for HARSTEM, and it could be actually a Baneling drop by Scarlett, sorry, as she might try to inflict damage here. This expansion not really well defended, only one cannon here, but the Banelings could of course get dropped here in the back, and Scarlett could also attack on two different fronts. And let's see if this is indeed going to be her tactic. She's moving forward, she's going to try to lure of course the main force from HARSTEM here. In come the Banelings, lots and lots of splash damage against those zealots in the front. And yet the Archons will also be very strong, but let's not forget that there's two Overlords flying here over for Scarlett. So a nice double push once again by her. Let's see what those Overlords will be doing. A little bit of lag behind here by her. She's losing a little bit of time. This expansion not well defended, only a couple of cannons. Still the Overlords are on hold position. Let's see, in comes HARSTEM, but he will be surrounded with the units here from Scarlett. Nice force fields by him. Same time, let's see what those Banelings will do as they're getting dropped here straight towards the mineral line here from HARSTEM. Only 5 probes, luckily for him, have fallen. Let's have a look at the second attempt by Scarlett, as she is now moving forward. At the same time, the main from Scarlett is getting attacked. This will be cleared, and yeah, in comes the drop once again, and 10 probes have been sniped. So in total 15 probes have been sniped here for Scarlett against HARSTEM. Quite a nice move. Even the Overlord is getting left alive, and at the same time the main force here from HARSTEM has been sniped, as Scarlett is now maxed out. So a very nice early game by her. Even the Observer might get sniped here, so very smart move indeed by Scarlett, showing us her skills. But still a very long game, so still anyone's game. HARSTEM might come back into this game somehow. He still has a very strong force. Those Archons are of course great against the Zerg. The Immortals are the perfect counter against the Roaches, but it's just so much Zerg here, as even some probes will be intercepted here. So HARSTEM with some small mistakes, however losing more and more of his workers, but still his worker count is very strong, 68 versus the 77. And let's see if Scarlett is going to engage into this location, or is she going to try to fend back. At the same time, those Archons will of course be able to hold the expansion here. And yeah, now we do have the important units for HARSTEM. We do have the High Templars with the Psionic Storm, with the splash damage against the Zerg units. And let's see if indeed we are going to be having a soon very big fight in between the two pros. We do have a small engagement here. HARSTEM are trying to move out on two different fronts. The Archons will be able to deal damage. At the same time, Scarlett into this position, and she tries to counter of course the expansion points, but at the same time her expansions are a little bit exposed. That's exactly why she has added those spine crawlers into this location. And let's see where exactly she is going to move out, as some damage is being taken here by her forces. So those Archons are of course the great counter towards all of the Zerglings here. Look at the Zerglings, how fast they melt, and the Psionic Storm also catching all of the Zerg units here. So HARSTEM with some great pickups is coming back into the game. The Archons are in the front, exactly where they should be. They're being backed up by those Marauders, sorry, by the Immortals. And yes, Scarlett really taking lots and lots of casualties here, as HARSTEM does a very nice job. He just keeps on rolling forward. I believe this should sound the alarm clock here for Scarlett, as she might try to have to transition into some better units. Some Ultralisk would be great. Some Broodlords might also be needed very soon, as yeah, those Archons with those Immortals are very deadly. You can see the Bane is not really getting any connections, as the High Templar Storms really catching so many units. Yeah, lots and lots of units are being brought here forward by Scarlett, but the Protoss still holds, and now the strong units are still being left alive. And in the end, finally Scarlett is able to surround this, but at what cost? She has lost so many units, and still some Immortals are alive, as backup units are moving here forward. So yeah, blinking Stalkers moving forward. Still Scarlett has, or looks like she has enough to defend this, or is she, as the Immortals are on the high ground. and they're dealing more and more damage here towards Scarlett. Scarlett tries of course to nicely kite back and forward, and in the end I believe she's going to be able to hold. But in all of this time, the Protoss even taking once again an expansion into this location. So we have passed the half time of this game. Quite an interesting game. We see a transition here by HARSTEM into Stalkers. I believe he's just reacting with this against an attempt by Scarlett towards Broodlords. I believe he really thinks that Scarlett is going Broodlords, but we do actually see roaches getting produced by her and Zerging, so she's still staying onto the same ground units. Zerging could surround all of the units here from HARSTEM. And let's see what's going to happen. Still, Scarlett is the one attacking, moving forward with many Ravagers. She might try to snipe the expansion point. She has the high ground, she has a good position here. She might even snipe the pylon. And let's see if she's going to commit here forward against HARSTEM. HARSTEM also having some backup units here, and he might get a good surround against all of the units here from Scarlett. And let's see what's going to happen here, as Scarlett still abusing the high ground, still launching those vials on the ground versus HARSTEM. But HARSTEM has all of those expansion online. He's mining really a lot, and he actually has 87 workers all of a sudden. The army from Scarlett is a little bit bigger, but the economy from HARSTEM actually looking very strong with those 87 workers. And let's not forget that he has the Psionic Storm. Finally, Scarlett is reacting with some banings once again, but still lots and lots of workers are still being left alive here for HARSTEM versus the opponent. So let's see what exactly Scarlett can do against this great economic advantage from her opponent. She decided to take yet another expansion, but it might get sniped very soon. In the meantime, HARSTEM also taking yet another expansion, as there's still good energy for those High Templar Storms, and yet the Archons also in the front tanking a lot of the damage from the units. And we do see an attempt here by HARSTEM to move forward towards the expansion point very soon. So let's see. Scarlett tries to react with some Zerglings, with some roaches here. She just wants to cancel this newly established base here by HARSTEM. She does a great job, but the reinforcements are moving forward by HARSTEM. In the meantime, the main force here by HARSTEM is actually moving forward. The Scarlett still tries to kite back and forth, still try to abuse the Ravager's vials, and the same can be said here for HARSTEM, with just casting those High Templar Storm. And now he tries of course to keep Scarlett at bay, but we do have a transition indeed finally into those Broodlords, lots and lots of Broodlords, so this will have to of course force HARSTEM to transition into some other units. Perhaps some carriers would be a great idea now for him, as his ground units will of course stand no chance against those Broodlords in the air, so he has to retreat, he has to rethink his strategy. Even some High Templars might get caught up, so a great transition finally here for Scarlett, and with that I believe she might even be able to take this newly established base down with so many Broodlords in the air. She does have dominance right now, so finally a good transition by her, having those 6 Broodlords, killing even some probes, and she might even snipe some units here from HARSTEM. HARSTEM, I believe he should have pulled back, but in the end he's just perhaps going to try to save some time to create some counter air units. He's going to try to find a good position here in order to go for some Tempest. Actually, I believe Tempest is indeed. We do see the Tempest getting produced here by HARSTEM, so it's going to be Tempest versus Broodlords very soon, and I believe also some Corruptors here for Scarlett. So yeah, things have settled down finally. Scarlett is showing her Broodlords, and of course HARSTEM will transition, or is actually already transitioning into some Tempests, and we might even see some carriers with the fleet beacon here also being aligned. Same time he's pushing here forward, but I believe he's going to very likely try to lose some units here just in order to have more anti-air units. And we actually see some probes getting snapped here, so Scarlett once again with a smart move out, just a couple of Zerglings, she's able to inflict damage towards the economy. HARSTEM dropping to 77 workers, and at the same time finally the Zerglings do get cleared here, so nice move by him. And we do see Scarlett winning this fight right here. But let's see how exactly she's going to be doing against Tempest. She needs of course Corruptors to counter those Tempests, and she's actually going into more Broodlords, so perhaps a small mistake by her. I believe she just wants to finish the game, but does she have enough anti-air She just has those Ravagers, and I believe Queens will also have to be brought forward in order to kill the air units from the Protoss. I believe HARSTEM, she's thinking that HARSTEM still staying on to those Stalkers with Archons, and let's see the Broodwars coming here for a large number of Broodwars for her as she's moving forward towards the expansion point. And there we have the Tempest, so the Tempest a little bit caught off guard, good storms, and with that HARSTEM could just kite back and forward and just snap unit after unit, and that's exactly what he's doing. The Tempest, a great idea by him, and now Scarlett will have to of course transition into the Corruptors very soon. But is it going to be enough? The Tempest with a very high range, sniping unit after unit here. And in the meantime also a drive-by here with some Zealots. However, the Banelings are ready to clear this out. So Tempest it is going to be here for HARSTEM. But he did lose quite some large amount of his army, so he is also producing more Tempest, and we even have a Mothership getting produced here for him. So let's see how this is going to work out, as we do see the first Corruptors of course appearing now for Scarlett. And yeah, let's see how things will unfold. Of course, some cannons have to be produced here by HARSTEM in order to fend off any attack. A good attack once again here by him with just a small number of Zealots. At the same time also some Zealots into this location. So let's see how things will unfold. Currently a small stalemate here. We do have indeed the Corruptors here in the air for Scarlett with some Broodwars and even some Infestors. I believe some Fungus could be casted here for Scarlett against all of those Tempests in the air in order to fight them. They are of course a very slow moving unit, and yeah, let's see, she is actually moving out right now. There is an observer seeing everything here in the air, so let's see if she is indeed going to commit here forward. She might very likely try to snap the newly established base here from HARSTEM, as HARSTEM is of course close by with his Mothership, with his Tempests. And yeah, the Tempest of course the counter towards all of the Zerg units here. So let's see how things will unfold. A small stalemate, like I told you, both players don't really want to commit right now, everyone waiting for the mistake of the opponent. But as I say this, it looks like HARSTEM feels confident to move out here with his fleet, with his Mothership and those Archons on the ground. So very scary army here indeed for HARSTEM. Could easily snipe those units, just need some vision, and in comes the Oracle to provide some vision here. And at the same time we do see once again him taking out the base right there. So it's a cat and mouse. We see the air weapons getting also finished here for HARSTEM, and Scarlett staying a little bit more behind. She's inviting HARSTEM to attack. I believe she might even use mind control against the Tempest. Let's see if this is going to be her attempt, as some Zealots still get some pickups here. There's so many spines online for Scarlett, as in the end the Zealots will be cleared. So a good attempt here by her, good attempt by HARSTEM, sorry, and the real action of course will unfold into this location of course right here, as HARSTEM is slowly but steadily pushing here forward with his Tempests, and I believe of course the newly established base and the new units right here will be the next target point. We even have some Spores, we even have some Vipers, so some Abduct could also be casted by Scarlett. And yeah, it's still a waiting game, still a HARSTEM on patrol. He's setting a pylon, so he might try to just teleport more units. Both players really having a great economy, more gas being available here for Scarlett, as abducts are still happening here, but in the end the sniping will happen also here for Scarlett. At the same time we do actually see a strong move out here by Scarlett with some Zerglings, with some Ravagers. This will force HARSTEM to at least bring some units back, and he actually decides to teleport here back to save this expansion, but it's just a couple of Archons here for him, so perhaps a little bit of a mistake, a small teleportation by him as the newly forces are being brought forward. So yeah, in the end this will of course be cleared, but that was a small mistake here by HARSTEM, and also winning some time here for Scarlett for her gold base. And HARSTEM might change tactics, might try to snipe the newly established base here from Scarlett. The gold base is of course very important, and let's see what exactly he's doing. He's actually having some High Templars, he has some carriers now, as some zealots still try to deal damage towards the economy, but the Tempests are being left behind. Interesting enough here for HARSTEM. Finally they're brought forward, and yeah, we do still see those zealots brought forward here for HARSTEM. They try to inflict damage, so very interesting game as we close in towards the end game. So still anyone's game, of course, a very nice macro game, and now the Tempests finally show their strengths. They're sniping unit after unit, and great feedbacks here by the High Templars as more and more damage is being taken here by Scarlett. She has some Zerglings on the ground, but the Tempests will of course target the important units, those Corruptors in the air and the Broodwars in the air, as they try to kite nice and back forward. And now some Queens might get snapped very soon. And yeah, there is vision and great feedbacks here once again with the High Temper Storm, as one Infestor after the other is getting snapped here. And yeah, in comes HARSTEM with his fleet. He is sniping Infestor after Infestor. Great fungal, good storm reaction, as Scarlett not being able to target yet the unit. She's still taking damage after damage, so the Tempest a great addition here for HARSTEM, as he's nicely kiting them back and forward. And yeah, HARSTEM really does a great job. Scarlett not really being able to target the important units, and the Archons are in the front, so they will be the shield for the Tempests here versus the Overseers and the Corruptors. And yeah, he's nicely sniping unit after unit, of course abusing the long range out of the Tempest. He has vision, and you know, even sniping important units, the Broodlords. So very nice and precise gameplay here by HARSTEM. And yet another Corruptor is getting snapped, so those Tempests really killing unit after unit, and they might even try to snap some spores now. The Vipers are getting snapped, and finally Scarlett has to react. We have a red time bubble here for HARSTEM, as one carrier after the other is getting fallen, but the Archons really did massive amounts of splash damage against those Corruptors. Those Corruptors have dropped really low, but now there's not that much being left here to defend against the air units. Some storms are getting casted here by HARSTEM, but Scarlett is nicely kiting those Corruptors back and forward. Still lots and lots of damage has been taken by them, and the carriers will hold their ground. And in the end, I believe HARSTEM, of course, with a great fight here, being able to hold his ground. Did lose some units, but the main units have been lost here for Scarlett, as those Archons, of course, were the real damage dealer against the masses for Scarlett. And yeah, the splash damage out of those Archons was really strong, as HARSTEM is now moving forward with his carriers, with his Tempests, and he's able to snap the next base at the same time. Once again, Zealots are moving forward here. 4 drones have been snapped. We even have the Artosis Cavern, so we might see a transition for Scarlett, but she needs anti-air, as HARSTEM is going to teleport somewhere onto the map, perhaps back at home, just to replenish the shields. And yeah, there it is. We do see some probes have fallen here, so Scarlett with a counter-attack, as we do see mind control now happening against the Archons. So the Archons are now pretty much killing themselves. And yeah, 20 probes have been snapped here by Scarlett. Still, however, Scarlett dropping to 44 workers versus the 52. Quite a hard game for her, and those Ultra Risk, I'm not really sure about the transition to Ultra Risk. Perhaps more Corruptors would have been a greater idea by her, but I'm sure she knows exactly what she is doing against the fleet of carriers. I don't really agree with Ultra Risk, and of course there's some Tempest here as well. So let's see how things will unfold. Those Ultra Risk are once again brought forward, but it's just 4 of them with some Zerglings, so HARSTEM can easily take out those Ultra Risk. A very tanky unit indeed, but of course no anti-air for Scarlett, just the Corruptors waiting here by, and she's just going to suicide those Ultra Risk into the Nexus. One is trapped, the second one has fallen, so yeah, HARSTEM should of course hold this and kill the Ultra Risk, because the Nexus might take some damage here. So yeah, 3 more probes are getting snapped, as in comes the Corruptors, and now a great pickup by the Corruptors from Scarlett, as they have snapped the Tempest, the important units here, and she might even try to vomit here onto the production buildings, onto the pylons here. She's vomiting onto the starports in order to kill the production here for HARSTEM. So very nice move by her, killing the production buildings with vomit. A very smart move by her indeed, as she's now retreating. So air dominance here for Scarlett, but there's still so many carriers being left alive for HARSTEM. So quite an interesting game we do have indeed, as another small group of Zealots will try to attack the base, but still in comes HARSTEM once again. Some drones will fall. The base is falling really quickly. There's lots and lots of carriers being still left alive. 7 carriers actually, and in comes HARSTEM. In comes Scarlett. She might try once again to vomit onto the production buildings or perhaps onto the Nexus. She decides to take out this Nexus as more and more damage is being taken by the HP, so lots and lots of vomit indeed for her, and there goes down another base. But HARSTEM really with a very scary army here, and also very scary supply as he's moving forward against Scarlett. Still many corruptors are being left alive, but looks like HARSTEM is going to counter that with Psionic Storm, with Archons in the front, and he still has so many Zealots as well. So let's see what's going to happen here. Some corruptors do take out some carriers, and with a good position Scarlett might take out carrier after carrier, but let's see how she's going to be doing against the Archons. There's still some Ultras, still some Zerglings, and let's see what's going to happen. HARSTEM of course tries to find a good position in order to have those Archons in the front. He even has some Immortals now, and the High Templar Storms will also be very important, as we do have some long distance mining happening here. Corruptors might try once again to move forward. They're sniping a unit there, but they're also taking some damage. Scarlett, however, at only 112 supply versus so much supply here for the Protoss, as now the long distance mining drones will be snapped, and more units are falling here for Scarlett. Same long distance mining happening here, and sadly here for Scarlett, she wasn't able to snap this Nexus. Let's see what's going to happen here, as very soon HARSTEM might try to commit. He's also establishing a base here into the gold, and yeah, more units are falling here for Scarlett, and sadly for her, those infestors are being seen, and now finally she's moving forward, but lots and lots of splash damage happening here against those corruptors. The carriers do hold their ground, however she's nicely kiting them back and forward, and yeah, in the end HARSTEM will of course take this game. He had so many carriers still being left alive, so in the end I don't really agree with the transition here for Scarlett into those Ultralisk. Perhaps more corruptors with Broodwars would have been a better idea for her, but I'm sure she knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted of course to snap the expansions from HARSTEM, but in the end HARSTEM nicely countering this with carriers. Also at the same time a great counter for Scarlett with the vomiting corruptors versus the production buildings here from HARSTEM. But yeah, in the end I believe HARSTEM just pretty much had too much, and he nicely took this game. So quite an interesting game we had here. Also Immortals on the ground, not that much anti-air here for HARSTEM, just the carriers, but in the end it was just too much for Scarlett to handle. Not that many corruptors for her, and yeah, in the end HARSTEM nicely taking this great macro oriented game. You can see a very long replay. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out.